Hey, what's up guys? Rev here. We all know that in this current day and age, there are countless forms of entertainment available at the click of a finger, but it's important to keep in mind, the entertainment market and its demands are determined by the most influential and powerful sect of the population. Of course, I'm talking about the loud and obnoxious Zoomers. These enlightened, politically aware, and likely deranged individuals represent a collective audience that media companies bend over and expose their chocolate starfish to in hopes of increasing their corporate shekels. However, the crazy thing is that in a world driven by numbers and financial production, companies continue to pander to loud and annoying SJWs that represent only a tiny fraction of their consumers. Not only do they represent a minority of consumers, but one that causes frustration amongst the remaining majority that now has to suffer through content catered towards endless sensibilities. And I gotta tell you, I ignored this story for the longest time. I couldn't even believe it. I wanted to meme on it, and many other YouTubers did, but I didn't want to give it attention. But God, guys, I have to step forward, sack up, gooch up, and dive into this one. Today we're talking about the zenith of modern storytelling. I Am Not Starfire. Now, of course, this is a comic book, and we normally talk about anime and manga around here, but there has been constant comparisons made between this comic book and manga, mainly from its creators and supporters, comparisons saying it's better, a threat to the entire manga industry perhaps. But we'll get into that, don't you worry. So here it is, in all its glory. Just look at it, the manga killer itself, the series that's gonna topple an entire industry. I Am Not Starfire. I mean, yeah, mission accomplished. She looks nothing like Starfire, that much is clear. Okay, I wanted to keep this roasting strictly to the writing and annoying social commentary about it, but please, give me 30 seconds to get it all out of my system here. She looks like what would happen if Starfire and the Penguin had a daughter. She looks like a character's after image posted on Twitter after a Western artist quote-unquote fixed her. She looks like what would happen if a human being was officially diagnosed with ligma. She's like an art hoe, but her only skill is making pre-built designs on Pit Crew. She's like the type of person who would base her entire identity on astrology signs, but then screeches at other people on Twitter for enjoying fictional things. Her bangs look like they got caught in an industrial-grade vacuum cleaner. Whew. I feel much better now. Okay, so here we are with yet another attempt by DC to create a woke comic book series. And I'm no expert in the comic book industry and its sales, but I can tell you this. Woke people don't spend money on comic books, mainly because they don't have jobs to earn money to spend on them. In fact, I would go as far as to say they don't even care about these sort of projects deep down. They just want to use it to pat themselves on the backs and feel special. Catering to this crowd is a massive waste of time and resources. It simply does not work. An example of this comes from DC's counterpart, Marvel. A year ago, Marvel dabbled into the realm of creating an SJW-approved series called New Warriors. The whole project was dragged on social media. I honestly believed it had to be intentionally bad, like a satirical take on the comic book industry, the ultimate troll, the goof that we all fell for. But needless to say, whether it was satire or not, it bombed. And here we are with I Am Not Starfire following in its footsteps. Since basically every negative response to its creators on Twitter gets blocked, especially anything pointing out the fact that the character's design looks like a self-insert fanfiction, I think the best benchmark for how well received this comic is the trailer released by DC Comics on YouTube a month ago. Look at that ratio, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like I just witnessed a crime. That may be the hardest dislike ratio I have ever seen. That says everything you need to know. A picture worth 1,000 words. The public has spoken. Well, with the dislike button only because the creators of the DC Comics YouTube channel waved the ultimate white flag of defeat by turning off the comment section. So as much as I'd love to play the trailer because it's hilarious, I won't let them claim this video, so I'll give you a brief description of the series from their website. 17-year-old Mandy, daughter of Starfire, is not like her mother, if that wasn't already crystal clear by the way. Starfire is gorgeous, tall, sparkly, and a hero. Mandy is not a sparkly superhero. Mandy has no powers. is a kid who dyes her hair black and hates everyone but her best friend Lincoln. To Starfire, who is from another planet, Mandy seems like an alien, like some distant, angry light years away moon. Everyone thinks Mandy needs to go to college and get a job and do something productive and become whoever you become at college. But Mandy has other plans. Mandy's big plan is that she's going to move to France and do whatever people do in France. Fascinating. I would read more honestly, but I'm good. And I think you guys are too. I don't know how they managed to have the worst character design ever and also the worst description too, but based on all that we've seen up until this point, it doesn't take a genius to predict that this series is not well received by the public, nor would it be after its official release. But probably not to many people's surprise, there are still some brave journalists out there that want to celebrate this amazing series because there's only 3 guarantees in the world: death, taxes, and journalists making bad takes. This article, posted only a few days ago, DC's I Am Not Starfire soars above and beyond expectations. I mean, to be fair, when the bar is literally on the floor, it's not hard to exceed expectations, but okay. This whole article is spent praising this wonderful comic book. Great design, great story, characters and alike. And for an article praising its success, there is not a single mention of its sales. Because art is art, but business is business. And DC Comics is a business, and sales are the only thing that matters at the end of the day. But not a single mention of that is very telling. And everyone on social media has been memeing on this article recently, and I just wanted to get a little brief talk about that in this video. And maybe I'm just bitter about all of this. After all, the OG Teen Titans is one of my favorite shows of all time. Teen Titans Go hurts me on the inside, but I try to separate that series from the original as something totally unrelated, a separate project. But seeing more dumpster fires connected to that series is just painful personally. But nonetheless, the trend of catering to woke audiences is still continuing to this day, propped up by SJWs and journalists who use it for their own agenda. The next project will of course be the eventual release of Crunchyroll's High Guardian Spice. If you think the build-up has been fun to watch, I can't wait for the payoff to launch. But for now, I appreciate you guys stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video. I got a lot more content on the way and some big announcements too, so stay tuned for that. Enjoy the rest of your day, you guys, and I'll see you next time.